New information about the only men to escape Alcatraz suggests experts got it all wrong. Of all the prisons in the world, Alcatraz is easily one of the most notorious, and for good reasons. Originally constructed as a military installment, the imposing stone structure housed some of history's most dangerous criminals and became legendary for its impenetrability. Many inmates tried to escape the prison over the years, but according to record, none ever made it back to the mainland. Yet, this is only one side of the story, as according to the details the record left out, 3 men may have actually escaped from Alcatraz after all. While this has only been mere speculation over the years, one newfound piece of evidence may finally provide the answer to one of history's greatest mysteries. When the military barracks on Alcatraz were first converted into a prison in 1933, many believed the island fortress was inescapable. Still, that didn't stop a handful of inmates from trying. Over the prison's first 15 years of operation, 12 escape attempts were made by a total of 31 prisoners. 21 of them were caught alive, 6 were shot and killed, 2 were never found and presumed dead, and 2 drowned in the icy waters off San Francisco Bay. But even so, a group of inmates resolved in the summer of 1962 to become the first to successfully escape from Alcatraz. Career criminals Frank Morris, Alan West, and John and Clarence Anglin knew they had their work cut out for them. For 6 months, the escapees used the noise of the prison's music to drown out their work. With discarded saw blades, spoons smuggled from the mess hall, and a makeshift drill, the 4 men chiseled away at the vents beneath their cell sinks. Once the holes were large enough to crawl through, the men slipped into the vacant utility hall behind their cells and climbed to the empty top level of their cell block. There, they constructed a makeshift workshop to begin the second phase of their plan. Using stolen raincoats, the inmates meticulously sewed a raft and built paddles out of scrap wood. They also cleverly rigged a concertina to serve as a bellows, which would allow them to inflate the raft and make the escape. To account for their absence while working, the men crafted dummy heads out of soap, toothpaste, concrete dust, and toilet paper, even going so far as attaching human hair collected from the prison barbershop. Tucked into their beds, these dummies easily fooled the guards. With everything in place, the men put their plan into action on the night of June 11, 1962. Yet no sooner did they begin climbing from their cells did the scheme hit a major snag. Apparently, the cement false wall West had used to conceal his hole had set, leaving him unable to squeeze through. Time was running out, and in the end, the escapees were forced to leave their friend behind. After climbing to the roof through a dismantled ventilation shaft, the men scaled a kitchen vent pipe and arrived at a section of beach within the prison's blind spot. They hurriedly inflated their raft and disappeared across the bay. They were never seen again. In the days that followed, shreds of escapees' raft were found floating in the bay and washed up on local beaches. Even one of the Anglin's wallets, containing the names and addresses of the friends and relatives he had, was found in the water. FBI investigators were all but certain that the men had perished while fleeing Alcatraz. The strong bay currents would have easily destroyed the raft and pulled them out to sea, and the frigid waters would have killed the men in under 20 minutes. Additionally, West had revealed the entire plot to investigators to earn immunity, explaining the next steps they would have taken had they made it ashore. The men planned to steal a car after arriving on nearby Angel Island, though no raft was recovered nor car reported stolen. Yet after the case was transferred to the FBI to the U.S. Marshals, the truth came to light. As it turned out, a raft had been discovered on Angel Island, and a blue 1955 Chevrolet had been reported stolen in Marin County. So, had the FBI covered up the successful escape to maintain Alcatraz's reputation? Many seem to think so, and over the years, dozens of tips, sightings, and even photographs of the 3 men have turned up. The most notable was this photo taken in 1975, which showed 2 men in Brazil that the photographer claimed were John and Clarence Anglin. Despite positive forensic identification and eyewitness testimony, investigators ultimately ruled this evidence inconclusive. Similar pieces of evidence have continued to pop up since that fateful day in 1962, including Christmas cards signed in the fugitive's handwriting, and even human remains. But it wasn't until 2018 that investigators received a tip that blew the case wide open. In a letter sent to the San Francisco Police Department, a man claiming to be John Anglin revealed that both Morris and his brother were dead and buried back east under different names. He also explained that he wanted to cut a deal with the FBI. John, who was now elderly and suffering with cancer, offered to serve a 1-year prison sentence in exchange for the medical care he needed. Unfortunately, this evidence too was not enough to determine if the real escapees had survived. As of now, warrants for the 3 men are still open and will remain so until each of their 100th birthdays.